Hey, my pretties, it's Shadow the Lion Queen here, and today I'm going to be discussing fictional characters in Mortal Kombat, and I'll just state my opinions. Now, I pretty much got down the list of, the ones that I have opinions on, but the one thing I will state, there will be no incest shippings. Like, no sister ex-brother, no brother ex-brother, no sister ex-sister, no incest shippings will be allowed. No minor and adult shippings. There'll be none of those. And no bestiality shippings, which is basically animal or creature and human. Those shippings are blacklisted because I do not like those and never will. Okay, the first Mortal Kombat couple. Most of you guys probably should know this if you've played the Mortal Kombat games. You probably know what I'm talking about. Liu Kang x Katana, one of my favorite couples. I personally really like them as a couple. They're a pretty good couple, in my opinion. I mean, if you've read the lore about Mortal Kombat since Mortal Kombat 9 all the way to the present timeline, you could see that it's a really good couple. I personally love that couple a lot. As Katana is one of my favorite female character fighters in Mortal Kombat, and Liu Kang's one of my favorite male character fighters. Next up is Scorpion X Melina. Now, a lot of people in the Mortal Kombat community ship Melina and Scorpion. I mean, it's a pretty good couple. I mean, I know some people say Melina is a lesbian, some people say Melina could be bi, but I find that a bit questionable because I don't really know entirely if Melina's into men and women or just women or into men. Um, yeah, that's kind of questionable, but I'm not going to touch too much on that because, yeah, some people might come out here and say, oh, Melina's a lesbian. I'm like, why don't you do your research before you go ahead and make assumptions on Melina? But yeah, Melina x Scorpion's a pretty good couple. Now, another couple that is actually canon is Johnny Cage x Sonya Blade. I personally love that couple. I thought it was a pretty neat couple. I mean, if you guys watched, Mortal Kombat 9, like the gameplay storyline in that game, you could tell that Johnny Cage was flirting with Sonya throughout the entire game. Like at some points where you see Johnny Cage and Sonya, you could definitely tell Johnny Cage was actually flirting with her, and it actually becomes canon in Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat X. It's a pretty good couple. I personally like it. So there's definitely that. I like that couple. Next up is Kun Lao x Jade. I find that to be a pretty good couple pairing. I mean, I could see Kun Lao and Jade becoming a couple. I personally think, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, I could see Jade being paired up with Kun Lao since Kun Lao is really good friends with Liu Kang and Jade is actually really good friends with Katana, so I could see that being the case. Next couple is Raiden x Ashra. I find that to be a pretty good couple as well. I find that to be, pretty accurate because, they both have hats. And funny enough, some people said they miscorrected Ashra for a female Raiden, which I thought that was pretty hilarious. But it's still pretty is cool. I can see Raiden and Ashra becoming paired up together. I can see that truly happening. Number one is Kano x Cabal. Since Kano, I could see him being more gay. I could see him being shipped with Cabal. At least to me, I could see Cabal being gay or maybe pan or bi, but I see Kano being more gay, if that makes sense. Because he has, like, the bit of the gayness to him. That's just me, though, personally. Next up is Cobra x Kira. They're an alright couple. I can definitely see them both being together because, in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, in the Conquest mode, you do see Kira and Cobra together. So, yeah, I could see them being a good couple. Like, it's an alright couple. I personally don't mind that one bit. It's a pretty good one. Another one is Cabal x Kira. I find that to be an alright couple, but like I said, it's it's your opinion on, if you like that couple or not. I'm not going to judge you for if you like a certain ship in Mortal Kombat. But I personally think, Cabal X Kira is a pretty good ship. Well, alright ship in my opinion. Next up is Sindel XOC. Now, basically, my boyfriend basically says he pretty much has a Mortal Kombat OC himself, like Mortal Kombat version of him, apparently is shipped with Sindel. Now, I find that to be pretty cool because a lot of people do have to say that, there's a lot of people that ship, Sindel with Shao Kahn, which I'll get to in a bit, and stuff like that. But I think Sindel XOC works pretty good, at least to my knowledge, because Shao Kahn is very manipulative and evil, if that makes total sense. So yeah. Next up is Takeda and Jackie Briggs. Pretty much a really good couple. I ship them because I've seen them being both together in Mortal Kombat X. And yeah, I like that couple. I think they're pretty cool. Next up is Kunjin x Cassie Cage. I find that to be an alright couple. Like, I could see, they're good friends, but I could personally see them, together at some point, if that makes sense. But at the same time, though, it's an alright couple. So, there's that. Next up is Sub-Zero X Frost. I personally can say that they're a good couple, at least to my knowledge, because Sub-Zero and Frost both have ice powers, and they kind of remind me of Elsa with the ice powers. They kind of remind me of Jack Frost and Elsa, at least to me that is. And yeah, I could see them being a good couple. The next one is Rain X Natara. Now, I find that to be a pretty good ship, at least to me. I find it to be a pretty good ship since I can sense, that Rain and Natara may get together at some point in the future of Mortal Kombat. I really hope it does, because I personally like that ship. Now, next one, Mavado X Natara. They're an alright couple, at least to me, but I prefer Rain X Natara, but, you could say your opinions about that in the comments and let me know, as long as you're not going to opinion bash me for liking a certain ship. Next up, Goro X Shiva. Now, they're both Shao Kahns, so I find that to be a pretty good couple. Although Goro's the biggest one, so yeah, that I can definitely see. Next up is Kintaro X Shiva, which I find that to be an alright couple as well. They're both Shao Kahns, except Kintaro's a tiger one, which I think he is really cool at that look. I think he's really cool. Tiger Shao Kahn, which I thought that was pretty neat and well done. Reiko X Serena, they're an alright couple. I can definitely see them being paired. So yeah, they're an alright couple. Although Reiko is barely seen, in Mortal Kombat, and Serena is barely in any Mortal Kombat games, with the exception of Armageddon and Mortal Kombat 1. The one Mortal Kombat 1 game that involves Liu Kang restarting history. That's the one I'm talking about, for those of you who've not played the game or anything like that. Kun Lao X Astra, they're an alright couple. I mean, some people ship them because of the hats, which I've seen quite a few fan art of them when I was younger. I don't know if it's still up though, but that's something I'm gonna have to look at. I think it's still up, but I really don't know yet. I haven't seen it in a long time, so if I could find maybe an image of that, I might show it on here, but like I said, I really don't know. Another shipping I do like is Kun Lao X Li Mei. It's an alright couple. I mean, I don't see any issues with that. I used to ship them together until I decided to ship Jade and Kun Lao, but I could respect people's opinions on Kun Lao and Li Mei being shipped. As long as you don't shove shit like that down my throat, then, we're good. Katana X Jade, they're a pretty good, they're an okay couple. I mean, I know they're best friends, but, I can see them being a bisexual relationship or pan or pretty much a lesbian couple. But like I said, lesbian couples and gay couples are allowed. I'm gonna say gay lesbian shippings are allowed in here too. I just don't condone homophobia or anything like that. So there's definitely that. I want to state that now. But yeah, I find them to be a pretty good couple, at least to me. Melina x Tanya, they're an alright couple, at least to my knowledge. I know it's canon in the Mortal Kombat 11 ending and Mortal Kombat 1. There is hints that Melina's shipped with Tanya, but like I said, I find the fact Melina being bi or lesbian or pan is quite questionable. I find that questionable, but that's just me. But like I said, anyone who's been in the Mortal Kombat, community for a while can maybe confirm it. Baraka x Melina, I find that to be an alright couple. Even though I don't ship Baraka with Melina, because to tell you the truth, I can see Baraka more like a brother's figure to Melina. At least to me, that is. That's just me, but I know some people ship them too, so yeah, I'm not going to opinion bash them. Scarlet x Shao Kahn, I think it's a pretty cool couple, and at least to my knowledge, but like I said, I mean, it's my opinion on it, but like I said, if you like it, that's fine. Kotal Khan x Jade, they're an alright couple, although not a fan of Kotal Khan. I mean, I used to like him, but now looking at it, I'm not really a big fan of him for some reason. And I'm not really a fan that he's dating Jade or married to Jade at the time. I don't really know, but I could definitely say right now that pretty much, a lot of people from Mortal Kombat 11 in Mortal Kombat community hate Jade in Mortal Kombat 11, but I think Jade is a pretty cool character, and same with Mortal Kombat 11. So yeah, I definitely do have to say it's pretty, something. I'm just definitely going to be saying that. So yeah, I'm just going to say that. So I guess that's next one is Devora X Takeda. I used to ship those two actually, but after I hear a lot of hate that Devora got, I kind of lost interest in shipping them. But yeah, it's an alright couple. But like I said, um, a lot of people don't like Devora, and I don't blame people for not liking her. She's actually one of the most hated characters in Mortal Kombat, in the Mortal Kombat community and the games. So it doesn't surprise me right there. Next one is Shao Kahn X Sindel. I find that to be quite questionable in my opinion, because Shao Kahn manipulated Sindel and pretty much told her, to kill Kitana and other people that she's associated with. So yeah, I could definitely say it's quite of a questionable couple, at least to me. Lee May X Smoke, pretty good couple in my opinion, even though I don't see them to interact with each other, but it's a pretty good couple. Shujinko X Ashra, I find that to be quite questionable, at least to me, because if you've seen who Shujinko looks like in Mortal Kombat, Shujinko is, he's like older. Like he's like an old man. So I find that to be quite questionable since he's like way older. So yeah, I find that to be quite questionable, at least to me. But like I said, I'm not going to judge people for who they ship as long as it's not an adult ex minor or anything like that. So another thing I do have to say is that I like how he's good friends with Ashra in Mortal Kombat Deception. Like you play as Shujinko and he ages as the game goes on, which I think that's pretty cool, at least to me. However, I will say right now that it is quite possible some people ship Ashra with Shujinko, but yeah. Next one is Nightwolf X Jade. They're an alright couple. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think they're a pretty good couple, at least to me. Goro X Kintaro, I can see that being a ship. I find that to be a pretty good couple, despite them being male and probably they're gay. But like I said, I'm not saying that they are, but Chameleon X Chameleon, I could see that happening because Chameleon, the female version, the one with the K, basically appears in Mortal Kombat Armageddon in the Wii version of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which I think that's pretty cool. And I ship her with Chameleon, the male version, so yeah, it's definitely a pretty good couple, so I can see that happening. Next is Kenshi X Lee Mei. I do see that to be a pretty good couple, at least to my knowledge. So they're a pretty good couple, at least to me, but like I said, it's your decision on who you ship characters with. And last one of Mortal Kombat I can think of right now is Ermac X Sindel. If you've watched in Mortal Kombat 1, like the one where Liu Kang restarts history, it reveals that Ermac is actually Jared, or Kitana's father at the time, which is later revealed in the storyline. Now, if you've played the Mortal Kombat storyline, like the story of Mortal Kombat 1 2023, you will definitely understand more. You got to play the game to understand more of the lore. But other than that, I find that to be pretty good couple in my opinion. But like I said, that's pretty much all the Mortal Kombat couples I can ship with in this, and that I do have my opinions on in this video. But if I'm missing a Mortal Kombat couple, please let me know in the comment section down below. So as always, I'll be catching you guys all in the next video. Follow me on Blue Sky, follow me on Twitter, follow me on DeviantArt, as well as follow me on my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo. Links to all those will be in the About page section, so you guys can go follow me on those if you want to go follow me for some more content. And as always, I'll be catching you guys all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, roll the outro, because I'm out.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.